Why'd you erase my words?
I didn't erase your words. That's another thing you said. I erased your words and you're all uptight about that. Maybe those words didn't exist. Maybe YouTube's taking a long time to put it up. I don't even know what you were talking about. What words did you say?
I called you a nigger 3 times.
In the chat?
Yes. And it
No
showed up.
fucking shit, it didn't show up. No shit, it didn't show up.
Well, it did show up for me.
Well, YouTube does that. It'll show up for you. Are you happy about you proud of that calling me a nigger 3 times?
I said an eye for an eye. And it,
Did I call you a racial slur?
Eye.
Did I call you a racial slur?
You went towards
that would be an eye for an
eye.
That would be an eye for an eye.
I've never used that word before, but you earned
Oh,
it.
please. You never used that word before, but you keep saying it.
Yeah.
First time and you just ready to let loose after the first time? Or it wasn't a slip up.
For the show, yeah. For the show, I think that's what it's about.
So you're trying to impress people with racial slurs is what you're doing now?
No, I'm getting out.
No one cares about your content, so racial slurs
You know, because PI for hire was right there. You're white knighting for PI for hire.
Oh, because white knighting, that's why I have to be a black.
You're lying about me. You're lying about Scotty.
I'm not. What am I lying about, Scott?
All right, let's get this party started.
He ain't no Saint Germain, no crown, no name. He plays the game, sharp as a flame. Who's to blame for the stolen fame? A shadow dance in the devil's frame. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on a stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Fast, can't find the ground. Echoes of chaos all around. You chose this dance, this mad parade, but not every choice gets accolades. Go in the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. Spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole. City lights and sirens scream, truth and lies blend like a dream. Wicked smiles, a clever scheme, chasing gold in the neon gleam. Going down the rabbit hole, losing control, spinning wild on the stripper pole. Laughing loud, all for the lows, but baby, that's not my rabbit hole.
All right, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole. And I don't know, I have to play, I'm gonna have to play back this live stream because I always want to talk like there's like the silence right before my media asset that I push, like because I'm using StreamYard, right? You can upload these little clips of songs. I always kind of come in a little too early, and I'm trying to perfect that. But anyways, welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole this Friday evening. It's October 24th, and a week from today, it will be Halloween 2025. So I feel like the month of October has just pretty much flown by. Okay, so this is a follow-up about a few things that are going on. One is I haven't even listened to I did a live stream on yesterday, and I was in a very emotional state that day. And there's a conversation that is happening between myself and another YouTuber she goes by Blazing Scar. And she has I think her channel is like White Feather Blazing Scar now, and she has a couple of other channels. She's had other channels as well, Rancid YouTubers and Rancid YouTubers 2. And it's the first time I just kind of want to explain how I ever became even aware of Becky. Was actually there's another guy that kind of is in the behind scenes of all of this, I think, in some ways, or sort of a connector point to me, and even maybe a lot of these other people as well. And his name is Lee Veltman. And so Lee Veltman, I was having some issues with him, Lee Veltman and Jolly Bridgeburner. And this is where, when I was more heavily into doing UFO material, coming out of like Revolution Radio, American Freedom Radio, on Not My Rabbit Hole, I was covering like a lot of things that, it's doing some shows on a lot more with Stephen Cambion back then. Like I would co-host with him, and we would talk about Sarah Rachel Adams or different Captain Mark Richards. Also, I had more interaction with what's his name now? C.W. Chanter, okay? And a lot of things that C.W. Chanter was saying. And at this time, Stephen Cambion and C.W. Chanter were actually like friends and stuff. And I was doing, I was looking into a group of YouTubers that are part of the true crime community, but also they were also part of a predator catcher community. It was called the Dolly Show, or Dolly, and then there's a woman named Team Rose that I know through the UFO stuff, and because she was a big fan of Max Spears, and after Max Spears passed, I was, my opinion of her was that she went really woo over his, when he died, and was talking to a psychic, and the psychic was channeling information about him, and, fake stuff, things that I thought were like kind of like fake things, superfluous, information. And she's even shown in the BBC documentary. And what's interesting about Rose is that she's actually an actress, and she was in a movie that starred Sissy Spacek and Tom Wilkerson. It had a really pretty big cast, and Marissa Tomei, and it was called In the Bedroom. And she plays a nurse assistant to the Tom Wilkerson character. So I think it's kind of interesting that she's also an actress, which a lot of people in this new age UFO spouting off into the right wing thing, like Nathan Stoltman from Lithavale, even Unirock is, it has an acting reel. So there's a lot of actors involved with this kind of grouping, or what you would call somewhat an echo chamber of YouTube. But what happened with this echo chamber, right? When you get into like vigilante groups or predator catcher groups and things like this, anyway, I was doing commentary on Rose and creating drama in these chat rooms. And I was streaming, and, somebody told me that Lee Veltman was in my chat. Matter of fact, it was my moderator, Jeff Reed, because he recognized his sack puppet accounts. And so I have a history with Lee Veltman. I do. And there was a time where I even talked to Lee Veltman on the phone, and I could go more into Lee Veltman, which I might later on, but I feel like I'm kind of trailing into a deep hole. But you need to know this in a way, because at that time, Patrick from Nasty Troll Media, I was talking to him, and he knew that I was having these issues with Lee Veltman and Jolly Bridgeburner, and then it involved Paranormal Hood, and there was like CW chant, and there's all this stuff going around. And when I was looking into Lee Veltman, I was finding out things about him. Like, for example, Dregs of YouTube, Ryan Walsh, he did a whole thing on Lee Veltman and how Lee Veltman had restraining orders and this and that. And I kind of covered some of that. And then there was another woman out there that was talking about Jolly Bridgeburner and Lee Veltman, and they were trolling them and everything. And then there was Tamara Wolf, and I found her. But when I was talking to Patrick back then, there was this insult that happened. I thought it was personal, but they were talking about people who lived in trailers and had cats or cat ladies. And I was like, I know, they must be insulting me. You know, I was saying this, right? He goes, no, he's talking about the trailer park ladies. And then he sent me a video of Denise Matau. This is where everything went wonky, because a while ago, Patrick and I it wasn't like this, right? But there was a time where I was playing a recording of a harassing telephone call on my phone that Denise had recently made. And I happened in passing mention that it was Nasty Troll Media that even made me aware of Denise in the first place. And then all of a sudden all this drama happened, you know, and there was all this, you know, like as if like saying that was the wrong thing to say. All of a sudden, like Denise was doing videos that I was blackmailing him, and I was just like freaking crazy. And so, but before that happened, right, when I told him, you know, I think Lee Veltman's talking about me, and he would go, oh, no, it's Denise. And so it was the video of Denise talking about the Daily Beast article. It was the Daily Beast article she was talking about, and she was talking about Thomas Schoenberger, and she was talking about Cicada, and she was talking about all these people and her daughter and everything, and Beth Bogarts and Shadowbox and DeFango and everything. And that's when I went, wait, what's this? Because that's where I was kind of like, as a person who was in this media, I was kind of out of the loop in that world, and I got curious about it. So later on, like maybe like a year later, even after I first discovered Denise, at the time I had mirrored a video of hers. At which point, Moon, Flower Moon or Moon Shadow, you know, she contacted me on X and said, my brother's being doxxed in that video and you've got to take it down, and like all of this stuff. And I was like, whoa. So I did take it down off of YouTube, although I think it's on Spotify still. But so she came into the picture. And so, you know, all this stuff happened. And then eventually Denise contacted me through Twitter. And I had conversations with her. She had 2 different cell phones, which was really weird. She called me on one cell phone, and then she goes, you don't call me on this one anymore. Make sure you call me on this other cell phone. And I was like, okay. And then I called the wrong cell phone, and, you know, whatever. But I set it up. What I decided to do, and she was showing me a lot of things and mentioning a lot of names that I was really unfamiliar with. For example, Clovis. I mean, I knew a little bit about Clovis, but I really didn't really know her. I'd heard her name before. There was also Becky, and, you know, all these different people, Colleen Kokar, and, you know, she's just naming all these names. But there was one video that did catch my interest, and it was a video of, it was the voice of Clovis talking about having the FBI having her computer and being investigated, but I was trying to get to the part of why this was happening to her. And I did a show, it was called Vigilante YouTube on YouTube. And it was around November of 2021, I think, or 2022. And yeah, it was like around November of 2022. And I showed different examples of what was different examples of like YouTube channels that I thought were overstepping their boundaries when it came to missing people. I think maybe not Gabby Petito, but it was like there was all these groups that did these things and they were like making money. And some of them had the very vigilante groups that were like, let's say, looking for pedos, actually had pedos in their background. And I found that interesting. And in that mix, I threw in Clovis into that. And then, a lot of people know where that went afterwards because, I finally found out what that clip was of Clovis. And I'm going to say what I discovered that voice clip that I was really trying to play on my show. It was actually her admittance of having her, having the FBI come in and investigate something. To my memory, and I have videos on this, so hopefully I explain this right. She was working she's working as a predator catcher, which I think is an admirable thing to do. But I think that in some ways, it can do the wrong thing in that process. For example, there was a vigilante group out there. I think it was like about a year or so ago. There was an article, and they beat somebody up. They harmed somebody just because they thought they were entitled to be the punisher and not be the person who helps get them caught and let law enforcement take care of it. So sometimes like there's areas where people will do the wrong thing. And I explore those things, especially since I'm not in any predator groups and I don't do this kind of work. But I from a YouTube point of view, I've observed certain channels that I felt were going over the line. And so I pretty much brought Denise on my show, not to interview her. I was kind of already, I'd picked up things about Denise. So it wasn't like I was going to like highlight her as a guest so that she could just go off on things. But I was kind of having her on kind of like as a co-host, kind of a buffer, and then like when it did come into Clovis, maybe she could give me context. So that night, it was that show that Thomas Schoenberger showed up on my chat. That was the first contact I ever had of any kind on the internet, was that evening with Denise Matau. And I had no idea that she was that connected to him. And then also who was in my chat that night was Blazing Scar. She was there. And also, I believe Tacos, Colts, and Cats was there that night. Jesse Davis showed up. Clovis showed up. And I even had conversation with Clovis. Like I invited Clovis on before I even played the video. She wanted to explain what was going on so that we would know. I mean, because like always when the person, if you're going to show something or whatever, you always want to ask the person, come on and talk about it. I was open to understanding what I was listening to and have context over it. So, when it comes to like, how did I stumble onto these people, or how did I make contact with them online? This is what was my first contact with Becky ever. Now, when it comes to Patrick, and I've shown the screenshot, it doesn't matter how much, Nathan Stoltman wants to not deny that I was on a show. Fact of the matter is I have played it. And even when Thomas Schoenberger wants to say it's a deep fake, people witnessed it. And, there's a screenshot of, Patrick's first introduction to me on Twitter is that he saw me on Lift the Veil. So there's that kind of circle. Like before I came into the picture, right? There were already people that knew each other, and there was already drama and stuff that was surrounding before I became acquainted with them. So it was kind of like, I don't know, like jumping into a frying pan is what I can equate it. And before I go on, speaking of Nathan Stoltman, I'm going to just play this little clip here.
I know exactly what I have to do. I'm going to sell out.
Anyway, so speaking of acting clips, that is a clip of, from Nathan Stoltman's acting reel. And I just think it's so funny that he's saying, I know what I have to do. I'm going to sell out. It's almost like prophetic. But, anyway, so here we are today. And Becky came into my stratosphere again. It came after I had started to have arguments, or there was a sever between Nasty Troll Media and I, and she became like another voice to support him and attack me with him, is how that started. And then there was also Aaron V. Cox, also like part of the echo chamber, because if you watch the pattern of how this happens, when you piss off one person, they're all kind of connected, then you have all these people starting to say nasty things about you and doing whatever. So Becky always attacked me first, and for a long time I was just like, she's not even worth it. Like, who's this person? There isn't a moment where she tried to contact me through Facebook. She went by Beck Dean, but I know she and she'd hi, but I didn't notice it until like almost like a year later or so. So here's another pattern that a lot of these people do that I can say are like antagonizers of me. They come and they try to contact you outside of, like, say, YouTube. They try to contact you on, your somewhere out, like on Facebook or whatever, some other social media platform, and start creating a dialogue, or maybe even like creating a friendship, or maybe even acting like they want to help you and, give you work, maybe have you come out and live near them. And, because all of that has happened to me. So let me get to like today, right? So things escalate. And one of the things that I know in this group that I've noticed and I've made commentary on, because see, right now I'm not really into like, I could care less what Becky says about me. Like, really, if she wants to say that I'm a hag, or I'm ugly, or I have a big nose, or my face is greasy, she doesn't think I'm a failed comedian or whatever. There are certain things that I do think she shouldn't be saying about me, because they're defamatory and they're lies about my character. And, one of those things is that, I'm drunk. I'm always drunk and I'm alcoholic. That's not true. I have never streamed drunk before, ever. And I don't have a drinking problem. Everybody that knows me, that I'm the Hollywood Hemptress. So if there's any type of anything that I use at all, primarily is that. All right. Like, so alcohol is not my drug, and I don't do drugs, and I don't see cannabis as a drug. Surely it can be abused, but it's also a medicine. And I would say I wouldn't be able to even handle any of this if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for cannabis. Because, I was an advocate for medical marijuana. That's how I came into doing any type of online media. My throughway was that topic. And, when I was on Revolution Radio, they wanted a cannabis person. They wanted a show about that. My show wasn't all about that on that station, but, I was talking about it in terms of like, against the pharmaceutical companies and how hemp can save the planet, plastic, fiber, fuel, energy, all those other things. And I did a lot of activism for it at one time and at that time. And so that's how, I came into this. So, but she says that, and, she said some other things that are just really untrue about me, about things that are defamatory. And one of the things that I do think is inappropriate is that she's also taken it upon herself to say defamatory things and make accusations that I'm stalking or harassing her, as if she's the victim. And she's tagging employment or places that I go to college at. you know, and in hopes of that they see what she says about me. And so that's kind of like taking the harassment farther, really. That's like, you know, it's not just like saying, well, I don't think she's funny. Oh, and also the porn star thing. Let me address the porn star thing. All right. I am not a porn star. I'm not a porn actress. I am a stand-up comedian. I was on a show called Last Comic Standing. I was a finalist in 2003 when it was a big-time reality show where, you know, I did 6 out of 9 episodes, and I came back and did a 3rd season. It ran several times on Comedy Central. It even ran in the UK. All right. I am a writer, and my connection to the adult film business is that I wrote some screenplays that were AVN Award nominated. And, you know, a lot of people, they go, oh, I mean, like, you know, who writes, there are no plots and, you know, porno. That's not true. That, you know, historically, if you go back to, like, say, Behind the Green Door or The Devil and Mrs. Jones, there was a time where suburbia went to the theater to watch that, you know, The Devil and Mrs. Jones, and it was a rated X movie. So, and that had a story. Deep Throat has a story to it. It's, you know, it has dialogue in it. And so I knew a director, and, you know, she was a friend of mine, and I had done a medical marijuana float for the Gay Pride Parade. By the way, we won the most original and colorful float that year. And she was instrumental. She was on the float with me. I DJ'd at her party. You know, that's how I met her. We had mutual friends that were comedians. And, you know, we were on this float. There was a woman named, you know, it was Blue Iris, who is the porn star, but she's also a comedian, but she was a regular in Howard Stern. So she was a personality on the Howard Stern show. She was on my float. She passed away. She's in that movie. That like, how this all happened, it's kind of weird, all right? I got to become friends with Erica. We used to go to the Agape Spiritual Center in Culver City. One day she goes, I had this dream about a circus, and she was talking about about one of the actresses in it. She's in a ballet thing and swinging and blah, 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 blah. You know, and then there was Blue Iris, and they had made a connection. And Erica wanted to use somebody that was on Howard Stern, that was like, you know, a mainstream comedian and a name, in something that was like in her, like this crossover between mainstream media and the adult film industry. And somehow through all of this, I ended up being the writer, which is kind of weird to me, but it was a challenge. Now, here's the thing. That movie was AVN Award nominated. It had Ron Jeremy in it. It had Evan Stone. I remember all the men. Tommy Gunn was in it. Tommy Gunn has also played a part on Entourage. And, you know, honestly, I guess I'm going to say this. I don't really feel that bad about doing it. Like, I honestly don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. And I certainly don't think it's something that embodies my entire creative work. But what's happened is, and again, too, I do end up in a scene. I have never had sex in a porn film. I've never had intercourse in a porn film. And yet somehow I'm labeled as a porn star by people. And I think there is some publication out there that might have said that I was remotely somewhere, and it's not accurate. But I am, my name is listed on the cover of the DVD, and I am in the movie. Like I had a non-sex part in the movie. And some of it's in black and white Super 8. And I was playing like a clown, actually, and like a tutu. And like, it was costumed. It was in steampunk. I mean, it was pretty cool in terms of its production. And the plot line was interesting, because the movie was about, I was making a statement about sexuality. Like the first line is like, do you think, porn degrades women? Do you think you're doing it for money? Like, I asked these questions in the movie, which I find kind of interesting that it's even in there, because you don't normally get an opportunity like that to make a statement in dialogue that way. And there is, and I lost the video that I did about this because I had the receipt, but there is a university that actually archived the movie because it's an example of human sexuality at that time. So, and I will say this, and I even said this to my mom, because my family knows I wrote these scripts. I mean, they know. I don't hide. I never hid anything about anything that I've done in my life. I'm pretty transparent. And I said, Mom, if that can happen for me if I write an adult film screenplay, well, what could happen if I actually really learned how to write? If I really went back to school to write? Well, what opportunity might I actually be able to do if I could do something exceptional in this media? Then what if I really learned how to do it? And that's part of the reason why I went back to college. That's part of the reason why I went back, is because I felt that I had more potential than that. And so, but now it's, it got picked up by Thomas Schoenberger, and it's morphed into, like, I Blew a Dwarf, and, Hoax Wars, Daniel Ryan Columbus ran with it and just smeared me as, Tams has said something, there's this, degradation. I'm not the person who gave oral copulation to the dwarf. That was Blue Iris. So don't confuse me. And I don't write the sex scenes, okay? I wrote the dialogue in between that led up to it. So whatever they do on camera, it's the actors, the porn stars, options of what they're gonna do, not me, okay? Not, or even the director asks them, what are you okay with? What do you want to do? That, there's a negotiation before they actually, even really do the scene. So it's kind of a world that I have experience with. I might even write about it in creative nonfiction, which is that's probably really what's going to happen here, because, like, there's a whole lot of people that can have stories like that, and some interesting things did happen, and there's some interesting self-reflection that I would like to write about as a writer. So, that's where that all comes from. And, so that's a correction that I'd like to make, because, like, when you're talking about, like, who I am, like, who's Terry Joyce, right? Well, you can read my synopsis here that I have up on YouTube, because that's pretty much my resume. Like, I am a former reality television star, and I was on Last Comic Standing. I was a comedian that worked for 30 years on the road. I've been an activist. I've been a marijuana activist. I was on the cover of the Pasadena Weekly blowing marijuana smoke in the air with the words "bong loads of justice" on it. I've been in People magazine. My picture was in People magazine with the cast of Last Comic Standing. I've been in the Inquirer. I've been in People magazine twice, because I was dating somebody from Average Joe. I went to Kathy Griffin's Christmas party and got a mention, like, in the gossip column. So, if you really want to know who I am, then, come ask me. I don't think that you should be looking at Daniel Ryan Columbus or, like, Denise Matau or, Becky Dean's version of what they say, which oftentimes generated from Thomas Schoenberger. And by the way, my hair is not a wig. My hair right now in my head that you see in my videos is my hair. And it's been my hair for, I don't know, the last 5 years. Now, there was a time where you might see me wear some hair pieces. Or I might have been playing around with wigs because I liked them. I liked looking different. But I'm not bald and I'm not missing any hair. And, so I just want to, like, clarify that. But, I'm called the wig. As a matter of fact, Thomas posted today. He made a comment on Becky Dean's video, her recent video about me. There's a comment that's puts on the screen, and I took a screenshot of it, where he says the wig is a domestic terrorist. And I told my mom that, and she laughed. She goes, "Oh my God." I mean, that's how silly it sounds. But anyway, what we're going to do today I don't know. I don't know if this is Alpha Zombie. So you watched Blue Iris? I don't know. I didn't really watch her. I answered that question. I didn't write that in there. I didn't. I didn't say Blue Iris. And I don't even think she did do that to the dwarf. I think it looked that way, but it really wasn't what was really happening. And the scene that you see me in is like it's interstitials. It's like a vignette, and it goes super fast. It's not anything it's not a full scene, really. So it's kind of okay. I don't know how to, it wasn't like, it's not what people are saying. There was a dwarf in the film, and he was an actor too. He was in like a movie. I don't want to say his name. He wore a mask because he didn't want to be recognized. And he wanted to be in the movie. Why wouldn't you have a dwarf in a script about a circus? I mean, it's logical, but it wasn't. I didn't write it in the script. Well, the whole entire scene changed. It's a long story. Before, Blue Iris was supposed to have an affair with the guy, with the Latino guy in the mariachi outfit. Somehow he ended up wearing a mariachi outfit, right? And that was supposed to be between Blue Iris and him, and they were going to do the knife toss. She was going to be the person that was going to have the knife toss, and then there was supposed to be like this scene between her and him. And then there were complications on the set. So then it ended up somehow, Mighty Mike, oh God, I said his name, ended up being in the scene, the little guy, the little person. And then, the Sergio, who played the part of the other part. And the fact that I ended up in there is another story. That I even ended up in camera at all is another story that I will write, that you will find out. I'm just not going to tell you tonight, okay? But it's kind of funny, and it's kind of interesting. So, the whole thing is like a whole story, really. I even thought about making writing a screenplay about me experiencing writing it and going into that. Like, I met a private investigator that, told me, I Philip something up. It's, what is his name? I got to find it, because Ed Opperman knows who he is. He used to be a porn star for Hustler. And then he ended up having an affair with John Travolta when there was these rumors about that John Travolta is, bisexual, even back then. And that when he was doing, Saturday Night Fever 2, that was directed by Sly Stallone. At that time was the time that this porn guy that turned into a private investigator was actually was the one who had an affair with like John Travolta, because when I met him, he said, "Hi, I'm so and so, private investigator, and I'm the guy who had an affair with with John Travolta." That was his way of like introducing himself to me. So, I'm not gonna. I can tell that this guy's a troll. So, you know what? If you want to know what I did in the movie, you'll have to like rewind what I've already been talking about and listen to it, because I'm not going to repeat it again, because we got to move on to something else. So this guy who's a private investigator, he was just talking to people that were crossing over into the mainstream media, into these productions. There are a lot of people that do that. There are a lot of cameramen that work in mainstream, that work as cameramen other ways. Like you have to realize, maybe you don't have to realize, you're gonna hang me on this cross, but you don't know really what it's like. You never lived this. You never were on television like I was. You weren't in Hollywood like I was. You don't know people like I do, and how certain things work. You can like say everything you want, and you can do whatever you want. And you can like be all pious while you say white nationalist racist things, which we're going to get into. While you talk about, to me, it's more offensive that you say that the Holocaust never happened. You deny the Holocaust. It's more offensive to me than like what I've done in terms of like, or what I've known about the adult film industry. Like my part in that is less offensive, I think, than being a Holocaust denier and actually like just railroading people, like being hateful to other people on the internet and lying about them. I think that is way worse than it is to like actually be someone who had a brief time. That is the only set that I was on. I did write a couple more movies though, with the same director, or I was a writer on those films. And that's it. Oh, and then I had an acting part in a Barely Legal movie that was a non-sex part that was filmed in a Hustler store on Sunset, and it's opposite Tommy Gunn. So yeah, but it's turned into I have a Barely Legal porn studio, and David Schroeder goes on and goes, oh, and she parties with the Barely Legal guys in Vegas. There is no Barely Legal in Vegas. And like I said, I don't mind talking about it, but like, when I hear somebody go, oh, well, why are you talking about this lady who is like an old porn star? I just want to clarify that the body of who I am and what my work is and what I've done, I'm not a porn star, all right? I am a stand-up comedian, and I am a journalist. And I'm getting my, I'm getting an MFA in creative nonfiction writing. I am a writer and a podcaster and a blogger, and I've been doing it for a long time. I would say, I don't know how long Becky Dean's been like on YouTube or doing radio, but I started doing online radio back in like 2007, 2008. I was like doing stuff on Normal Show Live, doing the California Report. I was like, I had Hollywood Hemtress on New Dissonant Radio in 2010. I don't know where the rest of you guys came from. I don't even know if like say a Blazing Scar even has a media professional background in anything, but I do. I've done voiceover works on I've done voiceover on real radio shows. I've been the talent in real radio shows, did press junkets. I've been on the E! Channel doing stuff. So I don't know, like, where you guys get, if you want to call me a porn star, and really, in a sense, in order to be a porn star, you actually have to be hot. You have to actually have to be most people that are porn stars are good looking. So if you want to call me a porn star, you're basically saying I'm good looking. So thank you. I mean, if you want to believe I'm a porn star, then you have to believe that I was sexy enough to be one, right? Not a hag, really. You've got a face for radio. Affable Zombie, if you think that this sounds pathetic, that is your opinion. And I don't really care. I don't know who you are. I don't even know if you're really Affable Zombie. I don't really care what you think or what you think is pathetic. You're nothing to me. Do you understand? Like any of you guys who have fake names or want to pretend like you're somebody else, Donald Rabbi, you are nothing to me. You're nothing. And you're really nothing to nobody else. Nobody knows who you are. You don't even have the guts to show your own face. Nobody cares about you. By the way, because you're rude, and I'm not going to, I'm going to have you leave my chat. And if you are Affable Zombie, I never want to see you in here again. If that's you. If you are somebody else, if Affable Zombie, if that's not really Affable Zombie, she'll show up in my chat. Her real profile will still be accessible. But if that is her, well, good riddance. I don't think it is, though. Okay. So we're going to go on to a bit of fun. This is Urban Disciple. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was that I guess Urban Disciple, he seems to have a problem with Blazing Scar. There's a past, there's a history. I looked into it. And, he is kind of, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say he's like kind of defending me. Like he's saying, what's your problem with me, basically, and criticizing Blazing Scar's behavior. And then there's another video of Blazing Scar making comments on it, but I really don't want to play her first. I want to give you the pure version of this without her commentary on it yet, if that makes sense. So here we go. And Thomas Schoenberger's enemies. Let me just throw that in there. Oh my God, you can't hear this? You can't hear this? I don't know, like maybe I haven't. Holy shit. I'm sorry. Can you oh no. Okay, let me fix this. Okay, let me fix this. Hey, thanks for being here, man. Yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me know that. I didn't think it was Affable Zombie. Okay, Sewer King says the zombie account is fake account trolling you. Yeah. I didn't feel like her. You know, I mean, and I like her. So I was like, no, this can't be her. So yeah. Yeah, they're always can't hear what okay, they're always lurking. They're always lurking. Okay, so let me try this again. Okay, so this is this Urban Disciple. Okay. I'm sure you heard my comments, right? I go, thank you for saying that I'm glamorous. But you'll see where he says that. All right. So and I think I can probably like move it up a little further because I let it play a little too much. But I'm gonna give okay. Hopefully I had two windows open of the same thing and I was playing the wrong one. I know what happened. All right, so here we go.
What's going on, people? You know who this is. It is your favorite boy, the Urban Disciple. Thank you all three for coming in here and showing your boy a bit of love.
Okay, so he goes in and he I think Jilly's there, and then there is Angela G, because you can see her. He kept her up here on here. So let's move it along here.
How's it going today? I didn't intend on being here.
Okay, and then he goes. Okay, yeah. So let's move it forward.
That just really can't hack it without some dramatics in their life.
Okay, yeah, here it is. And you know what? I'll probably like edit out like that big gap on this video afterwards, you know, because I can fix I can fix this live stream in post. So
and critique them.
Okay, yeah, let's go back a little bit farther. It's like in maybe here.
Has a mouth, should be talking online. There's a
okay, yeah, it's farther back. Okay, I went too far now. Maybe like right around here.
What does that even mean? Who knows? Well, I appreciate you sharing the stream. And it's not anything extravagant or anything like that. You went from Angela G to Angela G 100. Oh shit, she's gonna be telling the truth today. I managed to find some clips, Angela. And I know you I was gonna throw it in a video. I know you won't really like this, so I decided not to do it and decided to go live instead. I heard this white falcon blazing scar. Yes, we're talking about blazing scar because blazing scar loves fun, and I'm going to show her that Urban Disciple can be a lot of fun. I see what you like to do. I see how you get down, blazing scar. Wait, hold on. We must correct ourselves, right, guys? Blazing scum is you. When I look at a channel like this, I'm looking at a very, very spiteful, depressed, over the hill person. I don't know what their issue is. I think they're trying to find relevance in battling these YouTubers when we all know that that's not going to get anything done. But what surprises me, what shocks me about the whole thing is she's so excited about this. Battling YouTubers like it's Armageddon and she's fighting devils and demons and stuff. This is what it looks like. This is like the mental disease that goes on. And I'm a big firm believer. Not everybody that has a mouth should be talking online. There's a certain responsibility that goes with this. And certain people just don't have it. And I'm not sorry to say, Blazing Scum, you are really one of those people. I see how you do things. You like to inject yourself in the beef like a nice little tallow. You know what I'm saying? Like that creamy fat to just hit all the crevices. This is what you do.
And that's what I commented earlier. That line. I just really love that line. I think it would look good written.
Check out YouTube channels. You sit there and critique them on who's a liar and who's not. Is this the best you got? If it's not that, you're stealing people's video, using people's videos as your own. I don't even know if you're using commentary or not. It doesn't really matter. What I see is someone that just really can't hack it without some dramatics in their life. So I'm going to provide you with a lot of laughs today. This is my intention, to be really fun today. It's Thursday. I will be very nice. I've been very to this Blazing Scum for too long. She likes picking old porno stars. She likes going to chat room start.
And that's when I went like, okay, so I'm not a porn star. I might be old, but I'm not a porn star.
Of drama, trying to make people jealous of her relationships on YouTube. This is a very sad individual. And I don't mean like mopey, depressed sad. I mean, like, does it get any worse than this? Is this your for real entertainment, dude? I just could see myself spending so much time going into people's chat rooms trying to make myself relevant. And then when I get on everybody's nerves and they want to say something, I'm going to go run and do a stream. I mean, you're really searching hard to be hated on this platform. I don't know. You're definitely not the guy you love to hate so much. So you might as well just sit down and do what you were doing before, videos on your little dogs and puppy pads and stuff like that. You might as well just go back to the basics. You can't hack it. You have to try so hard to be hated, and people aren't pressed by you. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you get confused. People get annoyed by you because you're a try hard. You try so hard for this. And then when you get it, I don't know, I guess it makes your day or something like that. Well, like I said, I'm going to be making your day, Blazing. I'm going to give you a lot of fun. Tons of it. And this is what you like, right? Tons of fun. Yeah. You know what would be even more fun if you showed up and we can talk about Terry? You want to do that? You seem to have a lot of problems with Terry. And I don't see how a glamorous person such as Terry Joyce would want anything to do with this filthy pig. You make yourself relevant there. I thought it all started with defending Aaron v. Cox. Well, since you broke that union up, why are you still going at Terry? Why are you going at anybody? Why are you going at Clown Force? First he's a pedo, then he's not a pedo. What is he?
I think that perception of like, so for him, he thinks that she went after me because of like, I criticized Aaron v. Cox because that was like during like what dregs of YouTube, like, and the whole mouse thing. And so I don't know. I recognized her from like being like another voice behind Nasty Troll Media, and then also she was in my chat when I had Denise Mattel on my show, and when I had and then Thomas Schellenberger showed up. So that's how I got. She came into my stratosphere because she was connected to the drama with Clovis and everything.
Blazing. Is he a chew toy to you? I think people see through your gimmick. Like to use people, to buddy up with them, to just go after your enemies. And then when you're all done with them, like your puppy pee pads.
And then that's like when I said like Thomas Schellenberger's, enemies, because she also attacks Thomas Schellenberger's enemies. And what's interesting about this is that Thomas Schellenberger gets into the mix, see, and he shares their stuff and he has dialogue with Blazing Star. I know against me, and he's done it with other people too. He upholds Blazing Star's credibility. So she's not just alone on any of it. Or if she is, then Thomas Schoenberger takes that opportunity to amplify his own harassment with her.
You got to toss them away, right? Toss them right in the garbage. This is what you do, Blazing. Scum, you are really pathetic. And I hope that something happens to you. I'm talking about a light bulb goes off, the enlightenment showers down on you. And you realize that, you know what? I'm over the hill. I can't compete with these people. I'm a jealous old bag. And I need to get in tune with reality. I need to start apologizing to a lot of these people. And not pointing the fingers about who's a freak, who's a pedophile, who's been who's been hitting on your husband, child, and whatnot. Now, Blazing, if you weren't such a white supremacist, and I know what you are, I see what you're doing here. And as a matter of fact, you are one of those people that deserve to again be showered in white guilt. That should cover you like body armor. Like that armor of Jesus Christ you be, I guess, I don't know if you be talking about it, but that they talk about, you need to shower yourself in that armor real fast. When the day of reckoning or judgment comes upon you, what are you going to do? You can't run. You're too big for that. What are you going to do? You can't face anything. Don't answer questions. Should we refer to you as Trans Boy 11? Will you answer questions better with that tag? Trans Boy 11. Now, I don't know who you think you are, but you spouting out ways of life that I should be following or
okay, and pay attention to Trans Boy 11. Okay, because when I heard that, I was like, what? But then I'm gonna play her reaction to him next. She will explain or kind of try to explain what that is. But this is kind of interesting here.
Modeling after. You have a name like Trans Boy 11. Do you think that's going to make me want to listen to you? Trans Boy 11. Check that out. Blazing, I've tried to ask you this many times, Blazing Scum. Are you into trans? Are you into boys? What about trans boys? You into those? Are you into 11 boys? Are you... What is the deal? Now you've made up a few tales about how you got the sandal. You knew it was a handle. You have eyes, don't you? I also have another question. All the time you spend rambling on your videos and streams about me playing my crap, you won't answer these few questions I have for you. Why is that? You trying to duck this stuff? Why did you say that I was working with a woman on YouTube who grooms teenage girls? Why'd you say that? Were you trying to have some fun? That's your idea of fun? Throwing and pointing fingers, throwing accusations at people, talking about they work with women who groom teenage girls, and you was in a stream with that same lady, right? Talking about bathtub towels and stuff. I got my grandson a towel for the tub. Now, why would 3 other YouTubers need to know about this? We'd have to ask Blazing Scum this one. Does this have anything to do with trans or boys? What about Clown Force? What about you? Remember, Blazing, those little wee-wees and peckers aren't supposed to be forbidden parts. And those little tacos, those mini tacos, are not supposed to be forbidden parts for no one to see. Remember all that? Oh, excuse me. I'm having a little fun, Blazing. Never seen Becky ever be racist. Well, you're just too late then. I'm not going to bust out the phone and play what I need to play. But I might later. So thanks for reminding me. Oh, yeah. You know, but on the flip side, I remember this channel called Lady Love. She had this boyfriend, right? And this was back in the APM days. She was a mod or something. She was saying some things that this Blazing Scum had the nerve to come to my channel, basically tell me how to run this thing, tell me what videos I should be having up and whatnot. I'm like, who is this chick? You've already thrown some filthy, rotten accusations at me. You better back up. And you're lucky I've been entertaining you. I know you like to have so much fun, right? Hey, hold on, Blazing. Is this fun? You having fun today? I wouldn't want to miss out on a good session of fun. What's going on, Lefty? Pick up the truth. What's up? Is he talking to himself?
So I'm going to leave that there on that for a second and take a break. I'm going to play a song and we will be right back.
You're caught in a lie, and I know why. Tangled truths won't fly, you can't deny. Think you'll vanish, but have no fear. You're bound, you're found, you're here, my fake charade, but mirrors shatter, exposing the facade. Reality whispers, the truth prevails. Caught in a lie, the illusion fails. Caught in a lie, and I know why. You think you'll disappear, but have no fear. You're here to stay, and no one believes you today. Bye-bye! Fake out! Freak out! Escape code! Just another snake float!
All right, welcome back to Not My Rabbit Hole, and that is Caught in a Lie, and I know why. And it's on my own station. I created it's an AI song that I created on Astral. What is my Astral Records 6980. Trying to remember what it is. I hate the fact that I have numbers after it, but it's Astral Records 6980. If you want to follow me there. But yeah, I like to play around with these. You put the lyrics in, and you pick out your style, and then it it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's one of my creative outlets. All right, so I want to wet your whistle with this. It's a little replay. I played this earlier on the show, but before we get to Becky here. But this is Becky and Urban Disciple having a discussion about Becky calling him the N-word 3 times. So let's play it.
Why'd you erase my words?
I didn't erase your words. That's another thing you said. I erased your words and you're all uptight about that. Maybe those words didn't exist. Maybe YouTube's taking a long time to put it up. I don't even know what you were talking about. What words did you say?
I called you a nigger 3 times.
In the chat?
Yes. And it
No
showed up.
fucking shit, it didn't show up. No shit, it didn't show up.
Well, it did show up for me.
Well, YouTube does that. It'll show up for you. Are you happy about you proud of that calling me a nigger 3 times?
I said an eye for an eye. And it,
Did I
when
call,
did
did I
it
call
was
you a
less
racial
than an
slur?
eye.
Did I call you a racial slur?
You went towards
That would be an
me
eye
and
for
I
an
called
eye.
you a nigger.
That would
And
be
I've
eye
never
for an
used
eye.
that word before, but you earned
Oh,
it.
please. You never used that word before, but you keep saying it.
Yeah.
First time, and you just ready to let loose after the first time? Or it wasn't a slip up.
For the show, yeah. For the show, I think that's what it's about.
So you're trying to impress
Or-
people with racial slurs is what you're doing now?
No, I'm getting out.
No one
front.
cares about your
PI
content,
for
so
hire
racial
was there.
slurs
You
is where you're
know,
going?
because PI for hire was right there. You're white knighting for PI for hire.
Oh, because white knighting, that's why I have to be a black.
You're lying about
it.
me. You're lying about Scotty for
I'm not. What am I lying about, Scott?
Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting piece of footage that I discovered today about the fact that she had said the N-word, called him the N-word 3 times. And, of course, she could see it in the chat. But, words like that, the AI in chats, I think they automatically eliminate it out of the chat. So it may not show. You'll see what you wrote. But the person that is hosting the show or whatever will never really see the profanity, that kind of racial slur towards somebody. And so again, I want to say that the main reason why I'm doing any types of videos about, say, even Becky at all, is because I'm looking at this from an observational point of view. And I have, said this in my last video that I did, is that there is this level of anti-Semitism and white nationalism and, websites like QB Farms connected to this. Like right now, Denise Mattau's going off, I'm not an anti-Semite, or am I an anti-Semite is the question. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you have admitted to it several times on YouTube and you've lost your channel for this. And you know, as things came to a head, this is what's been going on with me. All right. I just want to talk about like how this has led up to this no gas chamber, Terry Joyce. No, yes, there are no gas chambers, Terry Joyce, Randolph, you know, titles of videos that say stuff like that. So how this happened is it goes to David Schroeder. By the way, we're going to go into a little bit of David Schroeder tonight. So hang in here. David Schroeder is going to, you know, get some commentary as well. So David Schroeder. David Schroeder has been going on about a lot of us calling us Nazi child trafficking pedos. And Sewer King is like, you know, also one of those people that have been, has been included in, you know, the declarations by David Schroeder. And it just so happens that everybody that David Schroeder calls a Nazi traffic pedo, and it goes through a list almost daily. And let me tell you who it is. It's Gabe Hoffman, DeFango, Sewertown, Corey Daniel, and his wife Alicia, who used to date Isaac Cappy, Daniel Dowd, Gio Farnsworth, Terry Joyce. Yeah, she's, you know, she's always partying with the barely legal people in Vegas. Like, it's like I have it down. I can do his list just like him. Well, maybe not just like him, but I know the list. Lucien Greaves, Johnny Dove, aka Lucien Greaves, Thomas Shellenberger. You know, it's just like what? Okay, so he went on about how he had this new information. I'm just giving a recap. He went over the new information, right? Check out his blog. And there was these screenshots that are of the lawsuit between Schellenberger and Gabe Hoffman, which is no evidence of anything, really. And then there was this link of Kiwi Farms. Okay, these links came from Kiwi Farms. And Kiwi Farms is a known, like, matter of fact, I was in class the other day and I mentioned Kiwi Farms, and one of the other students who said, oh yeah, you knew all about it, about how, you know, it's anti-Semitic, it's anti-gay, it's anti-trans, it's anti, you know, Cloudflare took it off, you know, the server. I mean, there's tons of articles. They did a show about it. And in that show, okay, I included a clip. The first time I've really done a video on my rabbit hole about Becky Dean. Okay. The only time I might have mentioned her in passing in videos or whatever. And this video wasn't about Becky Dean. I happened to just include it in the conversation as a profile of the people that are associated together. You got an Open Secret has a video of Nathan Stoltman basically denying the Holocaust, which I thought was interesting. You have David Schroeder using a guy who is a white nationalist and an anti-Semite as a source against Gabe Hoffman, which I find interesting, right? Now, I'm going to say it, but you have Isaac Cappy, you know, slamming Gabe Hoffman and going off about Mossad Media and Matrix. All right. And also, just let me reiterate that Isaac Cappy was riffing off of what people were saying in his chat. So I don't really want to like totally blame Isaac Cappy in a sense, because I know what it's like to riff like that on something. So, and you just improv or whatever. So if somebody says Mossad Media Matrix, you know, but these were suggestions of the demographic of the people that were part of his chat. So it's a collective ideology that is with this. And I know everybody wants to like act like they're not associated with it. Like again, I've seen people, you know, people who are associated that have been mentioned recently, even in relation to me, who've used the Confederate flag, who've had their thumbnails in blackface on Rumble, that, you know, I've watched you guys or some of the people, you know, associated with like hoax or whatever, do the N-word all done in a list in you know, someone will do the N-word in a comment, someone will do someone will go N-I and spell it out in succession so that you could read it go down. Like, I guess it started as S, so they're going backwards, so you read downward when it comes in the chat. I've seen the group, and I hate to say group, but I'm saying the group that's associated to like hoax, lift the veil, I've seen hoax on X use the N-word. I've reported those posts before, actually, to be honest. And so it's a sentiment that's part of a fringe right wing, and I'll just stop there. That has caused political chaos. It is associated in that direction. And I think that that's of note. And I think it's of note that Blazing Scar has, who says the N-word anymore? And you're not black. Nobody. You shouldn't ever. I took an African American poetry class. It was, we have to do like 3 different ethnic study classes in order to graduate. And I chose African American literature. And we started with Frederick Douglass and his writings, but even in by black poets, they even wrote that word in their prose or in their poems, which they could, and it was said, and it was derogative to them, right? When we were as students, our teacher asked us, because we would read the poems out loud. I would read the poems sometimes and everything that. We were asked not to skip saying the word in class. Just, we could see it on the monitor. We knew what it was, but just to be like fair and not just with respect, not to use that word. It's really offensive. I know that like between black people and this, that they will call that to each other affectionately, but they have the right to use that word. They have the right to use that word. Culturally, they have the right to use that word. Someone like me does not. I mean, because I'm half Mexican, I can maybe joke about Mexicans because I'm half Mexican. But even sometimes with me, with my skin being light, some people go, what? But if I say, oh yeah, I'm Mexican, Mexicans can joke about Mexicans. Mexicans can joke about white people. Black people can joke about white people. I'm sorry, but white people, they can joke about other races, but it's got to be done in a certain way. And there's a very fine line with doing it. And especially now with the tensions that are going on right now, especially the fact that we have young Republicans caught saying Nazi statements. That what I asked one of the guys for I forgot the organization, but he was going to be sworn in. He made statements. We're not. I mean, even with the Charlie Kirk assassination, there's in the underbelly of discussion of angry sides that represent this. I don't think that that for anybody on YouTube, for anybody, like, I think it's pretty disgusting that Blazing Scar wrote that in his chat, hopefully for him to see, but didn't, because it's an eye for an eye. Wow. Yes, Orlando. See, he doesn't even like it. So, I am going to block that guy. They are going to show up tonight and be asses. And I don't care, but I'm just not in the mood. If you come in and you do something weird, I don't know you, you're blocked, because I don't have patience. I'm not even going to say what it is. But you don't affect me. Just know that. It's sad. It's sad that you're over here having to troll my chat. And I never troll you. Never, ever, ever, ever. I don't even, I don't troll people. I only have one account, and that's Not My Rabbit Hole on YouTube. That's it. Oh, I've got Hollywood Hemptress. Okay, so let me see. Where is she? I should have pulled this up. Oh my goodness. I think she's She's like actually streamed. Seems Jesse David wants to join with Terry Joyce Randolph. So she's watching right now. You gotta see this. She's already done a video. She's already done a video. Looks like Jesse Davis wants to join in with Terry Joyce Randolph. Like, Blazing, you should know, we've been in the same chats when Sewertown does a live stream. We even had a fight on his channel. Like what makes you think that I've always had an open door with Jesse Davis and Pavana Davis or Sewertown since I left Thomas. I don't go back and forth. All right. I mean, if I know like something's wrong with somebody and there's something off going on, and I will cut that person off, and that's exactly what I did. Okay, I don't go back and forth and then like remake friends again. But if you've done something and I don't like you after that, I don't like you. All right, it's really hard to get me back. So I had this one. This is where I want to go because it's so funny. She did a video. All right, so here we go. Here's Blazing Scar doing commentary on Urban Disciple, the Urban Disciple. THA, not THE, the Urban Disciple. All right, here we go. I guess it's going to start here in a minute. I don't even think she played music for this one. Okay, wait, it's not moving. Why isn't this?
Over the hill person. I don't know what their issue is. I think they're trying to find relevance in battling these YouTubers when we all know that that's not going to get anything done. But what surprises me, what shocks me about the whole thing is she's so excited about this. Battling YouTubers like it's Armageddon and she's fighting devils and demons and stuff. This is what it looks like. This is like the mental disease that goes on. And I'm a big firm believer. Not everybody that has a mouth should be talking online. There's a certain responsibility that goes with this. And certain people just don't have it. And I'm not sorry to say, Blazing Scum, you are really one of those people. I see how you do things. You like to inject yourself in the beef like a nice little tallow. You know what I'm saying? Like that creamy fat to just hit all the crevices. This is what you do. You check out YouTube channels and you sit there and critique them on who's a liar and who's not. Is this the best you got? If it's not that, you're stealing people's video, using people's videos as your own. I don't even know if you're using commentary or not. It doesn't really matter. What I see is someone that just really can't hack it without some dramatics in their life. So I'm going to provide you with a lot of laughs today. This is my intention, to be really fun today. It's Thursday, Thursday. I will be very nice. I've been very to this blazing.
Sounds like somebody lit a cigarette right there. You can hear like just a little click of a lighter, and I think it's blazing. She smokes, right? I mean, she sounds like she smokes.
Scum for too long. She likes picking.
No, you have not, UD. If you want to look back at the streams and videos, I'm telling you numerous times.
And like someone's in the background, like is that her husband, like doing the dishes? Here she goes again. Here she goes again. I'll just let her do her computer thing while I clean the dishes. I'm gonna make myself some tea.
That whenever you get a hair up your ass, you target someone in your chat room. And you targeted me often. And well, we all know the story about you coming after my family and my husband, which you are again today, and, you know, children, grandchildren, and all that. And well, you tried to diss me and you failed, and now you're crying and you're trying to do a comeback by using Terry Joyce Randolph, Clown Force, and the rest. Like, wow.
What is that? I mean, that's crazy to me. I'm like, how did she get that in her mind? That's what's motivating him to do what he's doing, say about her. Like it's a conspiracy. I can just see her smoking her cigarette right now and just saying it.
Incorrect, Mark. I'm not a white supremacist.
Old porno stars. She likes going to chat rooms, starting up drama, trying to make people jealous.
But you're not a white supremacist, but you call him the N-word like 3 times, and you are denying the Holocaust. So you're pretty damn close, Blazin. You're riding that line right now.
Okay. That old porno star, the failed midget, the one that did the porn with the midgets.
Okay, and and I want to correct you guys, because also Hoax did this. It's not midget. Midget, even that's offensive. That's offensive to little people. That's offensive. You don't even know. You don't even know how to like be respectful to people. That's a bad sign. That's bad for Becky. That's bad.
That old lady came at me.
No, that's not what happened. I didn't even know. I really didn't know who you were, Becky.
She tagged me. She initiated it with me. And then go figure, she's out there crying about me this morning.
Of her relationships on YouTube. This is a very sad.
You know, she laughed at that. She loved it. She loves hurting people. And yet she cries victim and says, like, she's what? She did a newscast, right? Talking about how she was cyber stalked and everything like that. And somebody got in trouble. But she does this. She laughs when somebody else gets hurt by her. Kind of sick.
Individual. And I don't mean like mopey, depressed, sad. I mean, like, does it get any worse than, is this your for real entertainment, dude? I just could see myself spending so much time going into people's chat rooms trying to make myself relevant. And then when I get on everybody's nerves and they want to say something, I'm going to go run and do a stream. I mean, you're really searching hard to be hated.
Where did I run and go do a stream because I got on everybody's nerves? Speak truth, UD, and you might actually be able to get me on a few things. I'll own it if you do.
Hated on this platform. I don't know. You're definitely not the guy you love to hate so much. So you might as well just sit down.
Oh, Angel, by the way, you got a shout out by Terry Joyce Randolph, as well as Lisa Lake and
yeah, okay, yeah. And that's interesting. I found a bunch of other videos about them in connection to Becky, but yeah, Lisa Lake. Yeah, I noticed that because you guys all hang together. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I gave him a shout out. I'm just identifying the group of people. I mean, you were arguing me about gas chambers, you're trying to tell me that you're trying to tell me the Holocaust didn't happen, and you're putting my name in the title of the video. And the people watching it and hanging out are people that have also, Lisa Lake makes videos of me, has made videos that are meant to mock me and defamatory or whatever. I'm identifying the people that come after me. They were in your chat. By the way, you got a guy named Charles in your chat that I think is actually Lee Veltman. Yeah, I do. You know why? Well, I'll tell you that later.
who else? Who knows? But anyway, she had 0 chatters. Until one of the hoax crew went in and put a popcorn icon in and she deleted it. That was the only chatter she had towards the end.
And how did she know that was one of the hoax crew? How did she know? I never recognized that. I didn't even mention it. And the fact that she even mentions that means that she was watching the live stream while it was live. And she knew that was a hoax crew. And hoaxes, harmed me verbally, said lies about me on his channel with Thomas Schoenberger in the chat. And she knows that that's a hoax person. And she was there live listening to me. She didn't miss a beat. She's right there. She probably waits for my notifications. If she was in the chat, she'd probably show up as one of my number one fans. Now that's some real obsession. I'm not subscribed to her. I don't know when she goes. I mean, right now I look at her because I know she's going after me. But I think there was a stream where I realized it was streaming. It was like an hour in, and I popped in for a second, and then I left. I don't really like to listen to like people say hateful things about me and take that in. I think what I do take in has done enough damage for me.
And
And do what you were doing before. Videos.
and yada yada yada. Terry Joyce Randolph, you came at me and now you're crying. You tried to mock me thinking that my video got taken down for some other reason yesterday.
Oh my God. I mean, like she can't take any joking about her. I mean, considering all the things that she says about me, she can't take any type of joking about her. I mean, yeah, she got a copyright. You're playing music. It was like BBC video. And then it's kind of funny because she's like, oh, you're copyright infringement, Terry, you're copied, I'm like, no, you get the copyrights. You're the one who hasn't learned how to like avoid copyright on YouTube yet.
You tried to mock it. You can't run.
So what? Like what's worse, mocking something small like that, or or saying what you say about me, like calling me an alcoholic when I'm not, or tagging my job and saying it because you did. Come on. Like what is more damaging to somebody's income or character? Like mocking because you got a copyright strike and you want to go off about it? I mean, come on, you dish it out. You should have a thicker skin than that. Blazin'.
At somebody, poke them with the stick, hit them with the stick, and expect them to turn around, smile at you, and walk the fuck away. I bite.
On your little dogs and puppy pads and stuff like that. You might as well just go back to the basics. You can't hack it. You have to try so hard to be hated, and people aren't pressed by you. You know what I mean? And I think
People shouldn't be pressed about me. Leave me the fuck alone, and I don't have an issue. UD. You fuck with me, I'm gonna fuck back. Got it? I told you. Everybody knows this about.
Actually, she'll fuck with somebody, and then if they fuck with her back, she'll accuse them and say, you fucked with me, so now I'm gonna fuck back. She's for me, she was the first hitter. She hit me first several times. I even ignored her for a long time.
About me. I didn't go at Terry Joyce Randolph first.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
that's what you get confused. People get annoyed by you because you're a try hard. You try so hard for this. And then when you get it, I don't know, I guess it makes your day or something like that. Well, like I said, I'm going to be making your day, Blazing. I'm going to give you a lot of fun.
You do that because my day's been fantastic so far. I've been rolling all morning listening to some whining bitch complain about me.
Wow.
That's
Wow. You know, I had a really hard day yesterday. You know, I was really in a very emotionally I was not in a good way yesterday, actually. Well, it was Wednesday, so Thursday. So the night before, I actually called a therapist. I called a hotline, Becky. And the next day I talked to a therapist. And I actually set up appointments, Becky. If you really want to know like what was going on with me that day on Wednesday when I made that video, and you can sit back and you can go, oh, and everybody, it's what everybody wants, right? Everyone wants me to go down. The people that are like watching this video right now, including Becky, because she's already done a video about it, it gives you pleasure to see that I got hurt. But don't think that it was just all about you, Becky. I also have had a death in my family that I haven't shared online. I have other things that were affecting me that day. And you didn't make it any better. And I think that you've said some really cruel things. And the anti-Semitism and the denial, the Holocaust denial stuff, it disturbs me. That affects me emotionally. Because it's the character of your energy and who you are. And you said hateful things and insulting things about me and my appearance and who I am and what I've accomplished. And you sat there and you said, you pissed on my degree. Anybody can get a degree in digital journalism. You were psychologically abusive and berating. And I don't talk that way about you. I will show people, and all I did in that video that I edited that day was show a fact. I titled it in response to what you said. Yes, no gas chambers, Terry Joyce Randolph. Becky Dean says. That's a fact. That's not an insult. That's not, I didn't tell people that, you're a porn star, or you're a pedophile, or I don't insult your physical appearance. I don't accuse you of being an alcoholic or a drug addict. I've never done any of those things to you. I don't tag your employment. I don't try to go into your life and sabotage it. And you have done that to me. And that is the difference between me and you. And I think that someone like Urban Disciple gets it. You think you're entitled, and that's the part that's so dumbfounding to me. You think that you're entitled and that you're in the right and everybody else is wrong, but you don't look at how hateful you are and how hateful you are to other groups of people that are considered to be vulnerable groups. Black people, Jewish people, gender maybe. You're a hater online and you don't even see it, and you think, and she thinks she's righteous in it. And it's okay. And then she does an article from before about how she went to a mental institution, or she was institutionalized. She was hospitalized because of the stress that she had from cyber stalking and cyber bullying. And yet that's exactly what she's doing on the internet right now herself. So why would she be doing something that she is being an advocate against? I think that's real sus.
She's been up night trying to contact all kinds of authorities, and she found out I have freedom of speech. She's okay with her.
I never contacted any authority about you, Becky. Not one. Not one. You're not even on my radar screen, really. But you I guess you kind of are now. But no, I've not. Yeah, it's free speech. That's how you get away with it. But it's not free speech when it's defamation. It's not free speech when you're telling people that they're an alcoholic. And it's not free speech when you're contacting their employment and saying those things in your texts and in your posts. That's defamation, and that's suable. That's a lawsuit. Now, are you worth it to sue? You tell me.
Slander and lies about me.
I don't slander about you. What have I lied about you? I've never lied about anything about you at all, ever. I've just pointed out what you've done, what you do. I've only pointed out what you do.
Just like you know, calling me a white supremacist and all that other bullshit. Anti-Semitic, racist.
Well, you know what? You appear anti-Semitic when you call somebody the N-word, and you say that the Holocaust didn't happen. Yeah, you look that way, and you're offended that people question that or call you that. You exhibit it, and the sad part is now you're the victim. That's like a psychopath. That you might as well be David Schurter. You have the same personality type, whatever you call it, narcissism, whatever it is. You guys both have it because you give it to other people. You take no accountability for your behavior. And you accuse other people. You project on the person that you're attacking and accusing them of what you do yourself. That's crazy.
A MAGA supporter, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, I've heard it all. And she's crying because I can do exactly the same thing that she's been doing to me and others. She wants to go around and hit people with a stick and get away with it.
Okay, no, I've actually pointed out people like stalking and harassing me. And I pointed out like the truth of their congregation. I've investigated you guys. You call research and investigation and commentary on your behavior as beating you with a stick. That's the difference between me and you. You're an analysis for me, Blazing Scar. Your behavior is being documented. That's what I do in Not My Rabbit Hole. I'm exposing this, Blazing. It's really not about you. You're a symptom of the ideology of the people you hang with.
UD, you wanted to do that with me. You tried to call me a racist. You pulled the race card on me numerous times. It's been ages ago, UD. Ages ago. You've accepted.
That's her excuse. It was ages ago. It happened ages ago.
My apology numerous times. You know I have a biracial child. Yet you prefer to try to lie about me and call me all kinds of filthy racist names when I seriously know what a true racist is because I've had to deal with them and people questioning the race of my daughter. So Terry Joyce and you, the victim players like that, really get under my skin. And you using the victim card every time, you didn't like being called out for that. It got old. You accepted an apology. You've been fine. We've been talking until you wanted to single me out again because I disagreed on the women topic you were talking on. Now, those are the straight up fucking facts, UD. You show otherwise.
Tons of it.
Look, here goes the race thing again.
And it's what you like, right? Tons of fun. Yeah.
Thank you so
You know
much,
what was
music.
even
I
more fun if you
appreciate it.
showed up and we can talk about Terry.
Mark Smith.
You want to do that? You seem to have a lot of problems with Terry.
And who is paying the
I
hat?
don't see how a glamorous person such as Terry Joyce.
Now, look who shows up. Thomas Schoenberger. You are definitely not racist. And who is paying the hag? So here's Thomas showing some, obviously, if I'm talking about you guys or whatever, somebody's paying me to do it, because probably they're paying each other, and that's how their mind works. So obviously nobody could be talking about them unless they were being paid, right?
Would want anything to do with this filthy pig. You make it.
We're going to stop right there. That a glamorous woman such as Terry Joyce in her 60s bragging about her college degree, using it to lie and slander and accuse people of horrendous criminal injustices, mislabeling them, putting targets on their back, live streaming drunk, slurring her words, grease.
I never live stream drunk, and I'm not guilty of these things that she's saying. But let her continue.
All over her face,
Grease all over my face,
dancing around a chair with a hole in her shirt and her tits half hanging out, like her chair's a pole and she's in the middle of a strip bar. That lovely, classy lady today wanted to talk about.
She sounds real jealous to me. Like, she sounds like she is just flat out jealous. Just jealous. It takes another woman to know it, see it. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, that's real jealous talk right there.
Conspiracy theories about people. When she freaking said that she had sex with a lizard or some shit like that.
I never said that. I never said I had sex with a lizard. Okay. Just like I don't have a porn studio, and I'm not partying with people in, barely legal people in Vegas. I'm in Fresno, California tonight. I assure you, I'm sitting on top of my bed, live streaming.
For real, for real.
You're so relevant there. I thought it all.
And the way she treats other women, like she calls other women hags, she doesn't support her own gender.
Started with defending Aaron, the cop.
Hey, Charles.
Well, since you broke that
See,
union.
hey, Charles. Ha, ha, ha. Let me just brief. I want to give a little brief thing about Charles. Charles, there was a guy named Charles Unleashed that really busted Lee Veltman. And then he was harassed so bad that, and he was on my show one time, and also he was on my show with Ben. And Ben the JR Porter. And so he left all of this, but when the whole Lee Veltman thing was going, that's why I think Charles, to me, it would be, Lee Veltman would be clever enough to make himself be Charles now, because and the relationship between me and Lee, and Charles has showed up. When I did a show with Ben, Charles showed up. We were like, hi, Charles. And we're hoping it's the other Charles, but I actually think it's Lee Veltman impersonating him. I think Lee Veltman is circling around Becky. There's, Jolly Bridgeburner. There's a connection there. I heard it's still there by someone. I won't say who it is.
Why are you still going at Terry? Why are you going at anybody? Why are you going at Clown Force? First he's a pedo, then he's not a pedo.
Why am I going at Clown Force? Well, I think you saw where I was in Liz's chat, and Nanya told Clown to check PMs or DMs, and they targeted me. They wanted me out of there. That's what you saw, Irby. And all I did was call it out. Because Liz told me I'm more than welcome there anytime. and she's busy in her stream. And then Clown Force wants to come around here and dox me and attack at me. I think him and Nunya are the issue, not me. So, again, I own you, as I told Terry Joyce Randolph.
What is it?
Wow. I mean, that again, the whole I own you thing that's another, it's kind of delusional. That's the narcissism. It's not normal to say that you own other people.
Is he a chew toy to you? I think people see through your gimmick, that to use people, to buddy up with them, to just go after your enemies. And then when you're all done with them, like your puppy pet.
Who am I buddying up with? Who do I talk to? Nobody. Make friends with Jilly. I just told Jilly's my friend. I said that yesterday publicly. Yeah. I do really like Jilly. Charles, yeah. Like, but who am I? I don't get it, UD.
Pets, you got to toss them away, right? Toss them right in the garbage. This is what you do, Blazin. Scum, you are really pathetic. And I hope that something happens to you. I'm talking about.
See, she lit it up. She lit up again. She's gonna smoke again. I heard it.
A light bulb goes off, the enlightenment showers down on you. And you realize that, you know what? I'm over the hill. I can't compete with these people. I'm a jealous old.
You know what? I'm not over the hill. None of you tried to say I was close to 60 and I'm not. And it's all a state of mind, buddy. Time is not linear. It's curved.
You sound over the hill though. You sound old. You sound like you don't have all your teeth.
It folds. If you want to aid yourself mentally,
if you want to be youthful, put your teeth in. Talk with your teeth in, Becky.
Therefore aid yourself physically, go for it. Don't include me in on it.
So bad. And I need to get in tune with reality. I need to start apologizing to a lot of these people. And not pointing the fingers about who's a freak, who's a pedophile, who's been perving on your husband, who's been hitting on your husband, child, and whatnot. Now, Blazin, if you weren't such a white supremacist, and I know what you are, I see what you're doing here. And as a matter of fact, you are one of those people that deserve to, again, be showered in white guilt. That should cover you like body armor. Like the armor of Jesus Christ, I guess, I don't know if you'd be talking about it, but that they talk about, you need to shower yourself in that armor real fast. When the day of reckoning or judgment comes.
Oh, I have the armor on God on fully. I do. I'm no saint, but I have a full armor of God on.
Upon you, what are you going to do? You can't run. You're too big for that.
I wonder what God thinks about you being a Holocaust denier, Becky. Like you're denying one of the most atrocities that humans have been treated. You're telling those people that they're not the victims that they were. They're not the survivors that they are. You're stripping that from them. I wonder what God thinks about that, Becky.
What are you going to do? You can't face anything. Don't answer questions. Should we refer to you as Trans Boy 11? Will you answer questions better with that tag? Trans Boy 11. Now, I don't know who you think you are, but you spouting out ways of life that I should be following or modeling after. You have a name like Trans Boy 11. Do you think that's going to make me want to listen to you? Trans Boy 11.
Do you think I care what you call me or if you listen to me or not?
Check that out. Blazin, I've tried to ask you this many times, Blazin Scum. Are you into trans?
No.
Are you into boys?
No.
What about trans boys? You into those?
No.
Are you into 11 boys?
No.
What is the deal?
Irby, I think you've asked me explain this. about 30 times, and I have, but see, you have no ammunition, so I'll explain it once again. When my kid was like, I don't know, probably upper ages of grade school or high school, playing
made
a
up a few
video
tales.
game, he was fucking with people and made that, okay, as a joke, okay? I didn't know it, and I just used that when I first made my YouTube channel. And then when you guys showed me where it was at, because, you know, I'm not computer smart, then I had my son change it. And he laughed his ass off. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So there you go. There's your answer. But until the next time.
Okay. And, you know, but think about it. All right. So her first channel was Transboy 11. Why would you pick that as a title? Oh, okay. So your son was in a chat using that. He was a gamer. And so you decided to do your channel. This is her story, right? How do we know that? How do we know that's even true? It's an odd thing to like to start a channel with. I mean, she was savvy enough to put it up there, right? She was savvy enough to like create a channel. Was this like a Transboy 11? Was this supposed to be a troll channel? You had it open, but when you started your YouTube channel, then you changed it to something else. Like there's a whole dynamic here that I find curious. And I did look up Transboy 11, and I looked into it, and you know, there's some videos. There's only one video, and that one video is Tacos Cats and Colts did a video on her, and it's just basically somebody talking about like the satanic symbolism of the number 11 and stuff like this. It doesn't really give you a whole lot of stuff, so I'm not going to show it here. So Surikane said some stuff. Okay, so he said, because I chat a bit, we are teamed up, LOL. Flip-flops, no flip-flops here. And then, yes, those things are for sure actionable in court. Some will find out someday. Yeah, the defamation. Yeah. They try to put targets on their back by making false claims about you. Mm-hmm. Orange is here. Hello, Orange. And then we have that is a part of the reason they infiltrated the predcatcher groups, so they could spread their false claims that their targets are pedos and child traffickers. That totally makes sense. And I see that. Jesse. Yeah. And then have to get some sleep, have to get up early to my big weekend this weekend. Have a good night. Oh, good night. And then he says, don't let these fools get in your head, Terry. Yes, I will do my best. And I don't know if he's still here, but maybe, you know, I appreciate that comment. Okay. So, there are just a couple things. Okay, 9:43. I was going to go into David Schroeder, but I don't really like going more than 2 hours. But since I do have just a tiny bit of time, I want to go to the article of Becky that I found. And just kind of show a little bit of how she, I guess maybe like this is her one moment of fame here. How she, you know, had an article written up and had this case happen. And this was published in 2018. It's the Springfield News Sun. And it's like, protect yourself against cyber stalking. Here she is here. I want to play it. See if I can like bring this up.
Had a total meltdown.
Okay, so here she talks about having the meltdown. Let me go back. Here we go. All right, here we go.
I just couldn't take it. I started closing up more and more. I started back into my bedroom, laying in my room, not leaving anymore. And February, it got really bad. Come March, I ended up in the hospital. I just had a total meltdown over the stress and fear of what I'm going through.
Okay, so you see where she is claiming to have had a
I just couldn't take
meltdown,
it. I started closing up more and more.
right? I mean, she's admitting to it of having a meltdown. And then, the article goes on, I'm going to kill you. Oh, yeah, trust me, said Wisconsin woman in a YouTube video to Rebecca Dean of Springfield. Dean said she had been the victim of a cyber stalker whom she has never met for the past 2 years. The woman began verbally attacking her in a YouTube live chat room with dozens of messages and videos. So it starts in a chat room, right? This is a nightmare. You can't wake up out of it, said Dean. It's an awful feeling and you can't wash it off. Dean said she asked the woman to stop. Then a judge in Clark County granted Dean a civil stalking protection order, but the harassment continues. I ended up in the hospital. I had a total meltdown over the stress and fear of what I'm going through, Dean said. And so let me just take it back to like how the state of mind I was in yesterday, that Wednesday and Thursday when I made that video. The night before I had called out to, a hotline. And you know what? I admitted I had some suicide ideation. The next day I talked to, the therapist, and where that comes from isn't really from like maybe other things that might be happening with me, or things that the loss of my stepfather, which is also I'm grieving over. That's a combination. But the thing where it comes to where I feel hopeless and I just want to give up happens when like someone like David, like I can't take David Schroeder anymore or something. Like it's related to the continuous online abuse. And Becky has an article like this and claims this. And you would think somebody who was sympathetic to what happens when you are being attacked online, and yet she says all those awful things about people. It's pretty hypocritical, really. It's pretty hypocritical. Or maybe something happened to her over the next 7 years since that article. But she's the abuser now.
You're caught in a lie, and I know why. Tangled truths won't fly. You can't deny. You think you'll vanish, but have no fear. You're bound, you're found, you're here, my dear. They go trying to pretend you're just a serpent in the end. Caught in a lie, and I know why you think you'll disappear, but have no fear. You're here to stay, and no one believes you today. They go try to play the game, just another scare guy, but you're all the same. You're trapped in illusions, no more disguise. Those webs of deceit unravel